tonight's episode, Photo Finish.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour or so. So we go live. That means we do this as a live broadcast as opposed to some kind of fancy recorded, scripted presentation. We just go live, and we do this so that we have the interactive conversation going on with the people that join us midnight. How many people are joining us at midnight? Not that many, because a lot of people are working. A lot of people listen to this show who download the podcast or listen to the audio after the fact. So we attempt to do this show in an audio-centric format and in a participatory one. So we do value the participation of the people that are joining us live. G23 is the only one joining us tonight, so this is a private showing for G23 and everybody else who shows up later on. And let's see, every weeknight. So we go live every weeknight. We've been doing that since 2016, something over 400 episodes now, or 1,400 episodes now. We've got a couple of goals. We've got some direction that we're trying to take with this show. On Mondays, we talk about motivation, talk about Second Amendment activism and how to do it, why you might want to do it, how to do it better, how to do it differently, how to do it now instead of the way we used to do it. On the Tuesdays, it's the Second Amendment. On Wednesdays, we have some fun and we do the tactical quiz. We talk about guns in our culture and our society. Thursdays, travel, training. Today we're going to be talking about the calendar. And on Fridays, we look back at the week at what's been going on to kind of archive our progress, our accomplishments, our failures, and the stuff, the money we leave on the table, the lost opportunities that we leave laying there, I guess. All right, well, today, though, we're talking about travel, training, and in this case, the calendar, which is going to be a little bit of history, a little bit of what's coming up, and that'll be travel, more than likely. Man, I'm yawning all over the place. No coffee tonight. And more than likely, we'll end up with a little bit of training in here also. So we're looking at a website. If you're joining us with your visual way, on one of the videos, or watching what we're doing on the screen here, we are looking at the guncalendars.com website, which you might go, it's not a very fancy website. No, we don't put a lot of effort into making our websites seem all fancy or all trendy with the current flip-flops and the doodads and this scrolling this and that. We get a lot of work doing that kind of stuff for clients and for people. And while those little whiz-bang things are nifty, they don't work well with phones often. They certainly don't work well with readers and with things that are trying to interface with websites. But the main thing is there's no way to please everybody. So if you just do a kind of a simple website, it doesn't please everybody, but it works for a lot of ways. So that's one of the reasons we do it this way. You'll also notice there's not a lot of ads on there. In fact, there's no ads on there. The only thing that's even close to an ad are our thank you to our Patreons, the people that provide the websites. And then there's some banners over here. You'll see this. This is a random thing. When I hit the refresh, different stuff will show up. In this case, Rick's Life as I See It, who does a show every Wednesday. I don't know if he still does them on Saturday. And then the Virginia Citizens Defense League, the VCDL. If I refresh, we'll get even more. We got Luke from L3D, a 3D printer channel over on YouTube, and the National Shooting Sports Foundation. So those aren't advertisements. Those are just people that we appreciate and people that we support. There's also a link over here to Minuteman University, Every Second Matters, Second Amendment Foundation, Arizona Citizens Defense League, the JPFO, Gun Owners of America, and then I guess there's a link to us, so people that built the whole thing. But gun calendars, there's not a lot of ads over there. We're not trying to sell you no grip angles. I don't care what kind of red dots you got. Instead, it's daily firearms history and Second Amendment events. Now, the calendar is the main thing. If we look at the page here, the first thing you see when you go to the place is the calendar. That's the main feature of the thing, has been, at least I should say. But there's some pages. One of the pages is for the rallies. One of the pages is for our history. One of the pages here is for the events. We have one for holidays, because there's some holidays, both national and military. And then just our contact information. So if we go to one of these others, we get specific information, but on this calendar, it's kind of a general thing. So this is the 4th. We're recording this on the first Thursday of the month. And this is unfortunately the anniversary of Annie Oakley passing away. If we hover over the calendar, we'll see that she was born in August of 1860. And Annie Oakley, little sure shot, passed away today on November 3rd in 1926. One of my favorite gun activists, firearm owners, activists, and just an awesome, inspirational person in the United States, let alone just in firearms. Super cool lady. If you want to find out about somebody in guns and you're looking for somebody to find out about, I think you could do worse, a lot worse, than finding out about Annie Oakley. They need to make a movie about Annie Oakley. That would be pretty cool. Let's see. So we have a couple of things that happened earlier this month. We'll take a look at those real quick. So it's only the 4th. So these are things that happened so far this month. Don Cates has, the anniversary of his passing was also this month. He was born in 1941, and I don't know the day he passed without clicking on it, but he's an author and a researcher, and one of the people who played a major part in the renaissance, I don't know how to say that word, of the revival of modern 2A. His writings and his lectures inspired people to get off their butt, and that eventually inspired the Heller decision. I think he actually wrote for the Heller decision as well. Then you get the Oklahoma stopped criminalizing hunting with a suppressor in 2016 on November 1st. That's kind of interesting because most states do that kind of stuff on January or July 1st or January 1st. So something happening on November 1st is kind of interesting. So most states at this point, I think, have, well, many of the states, at least we can say safely, have eliminated the infringement or lifted their prohibitions on hunting with suppressors, realizing that bad people are going to do what bad people do, and there's many advantages to shooting with a suppressor, hunting with a suppressor. And in 2016, Oklahoma woke up to that. Now, on the 2nd, Every Second Matters, we had a couple of things happen. It was the anniversary of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Interesting situation where the United States had put some missiles in Turkey. And when Russia was like, hey, we don't like that, we're going to put them in Cuba. Then America was like, or the United States was like, hey, we don't like that. And I guess this cartoon of them arm wrestling depicts the stress at the time. I knew people that were scrambled, scrambled in aircraft on their way. We got that close. I knew people that were in the air. Well, I don't know if they were in the air, but they were in their aircraft, ready to go. That close. Then we also had yesterday on the 2nd, the anniversary of Daniel Boone. Let's see, being born. Finally, not the anniversary of a passing. I like to put the anniversaries of both because it's good to remember people and to remember that we don't last forever and that the people should get twice the amount of recognition then whenever we know they're born and when they pass. But it is always more fun to talk about somebody's birthday. So Daniel Boone, born November 2nd, 1734, 120 years before they would invent the 22 short. Daniel Boone, we still talk about him, out there being awesome, doing cool shit with a knife and whatnot, and his rifle, I suppose, and that dog that's hanging out next to him. And we're still talking about that dude. And he was hanging out doing stuff 100 and something years before they even invented a revolver, before Colt came around. Daniel Boone was out there doing his thing in Reading, Pennsylvania. A lot of people say nothing happens in Pennsylvania. Well, then how do you explain Daniel Boone? And pencils and Hershey's. Just saying. All right, we talked about Annie Oakley. Now we're going to talk about Bill Wilson. Tomorrow is Bill Wilson's birthday. Do you know that? That dude is interesting. So you can go find out a lot about him by watching his YouTube channel. Let's see. Oh, Jacob is saying he's about to start his channel. Right on. My plan is to go my plan, pro gun, and history stuff. Yeah, right on. All right. Coming up later this week on Sunday, we have Robbie's Law. Robbie's Law is from 2000, the year 2000, and that was a law that removed the situation at the time, or the tradition at the time, was to basically euthanize military animals. So Robbie's Law is the law that helped, made military animals and available for adoption by a person or entity, made military and law enforcement dogs and horses able to be transferred and adopted after their service. To November 6th, Robbie's Law was signed into law by President Clinton in 2000, and it was named after a war dog named Robbie. Let's see, Montana became the 41st state in 1889, in November 8th of 1889. So that happened. All right, you're going to hear about this, so I'm not telling you nothing you're not going to hear about. But it's the Marine Corps birthday coming up on the 10th. So all the Marines get together and remind themselves that they were Marines, and they get all drunk. Luckily, they don't kill anything usually. They just break everything and whatever, but they'll get all drunk and they'll sing a lot. There's a lot of bagpipes. A lot of bagpipes when Marines are drunk. Let's see, then you got Veterans Day the next day. Here's a little thing. Memorial Day is for people that have passed, that have paid the ultimate price. Veterans Day is for people that have been in service but are still alive, different than Memorial Day. Armed Services Day is for people that are still in right now, is serving right now. You can always thank somebody who's serving. That's fine. You can always thank a veteran if you feel like it. That's fine. I'm just letting people know. There's Memorial Day, where you'll see gravestones and you'll see folded flags that thank people for their ultimate sacrifice. Then there's Veterans Day, where you can go to some old guy, old lady, young dude, and say, thank you for your service. Can I buy you lunch or something? And then you've got Armed Forces Day. And that's the day when the people who are currently serving, wearing uniforms, definitely want to buy them lunch or something, right? They're doing the work right now in 2022 when it's a pain in the ass. So that'll be Veterans Day. That'll be next Friday. And then that'll also be the beginning of Wanamaker. So Wanamaker's a giant gun show in Tulsa. We've been talking about it a lot. We'll be talking about it some more, I'm sure. I almost got there. I was hoping to be able to get there this year, but probably not going to happen. Looks like a bunch of other people from gun channels will be there. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with that. If you're interested in live conversations from the largest gun show in the world, that's the opportunity to have them. Now, for some reason, USCCA decided to have their concealed carry exposition on the same weekend. So the 11th, 12th, and 13th, the United States Concealed Carry Association, they started in like 2002 or 4 or 5 or something like that. And they started out being a membership site where you had to pay money to join their website, and they would teach you things that eventually would happen on YouTube. But back in the day, it was really expensive. There was no such thing as a video online. So it was really expensive to create videos, put them onto DVD, and then send them out to people. So to create a way to pay for that and a membership system to send those to, the USCCA created that sort of a system. And then that turned into a magazine. That magazine turned into, let's offer CCW-like, well, insurance-like service for CCW. And then they eventually turned into or started emulating the NRA show when NRA started emulating their insurance. So while the NRA is nonprofit and shows their stuff, USCCA is a for-profit, and now this is their 6th annual Concealed Carry Expo, where they show up and have a tiny, like a small size NRA show that's focused only on concealed carry items. So you won't find any high-speed optics or I should say long-range optics or high-speed gear. You're just going to find different holsters for different kind of people. And I'm sure with the rise of new gun owners who are almost 100% CCW, this is probably a growing show as far as shows go. They're doing that one in Texas at the same weekend as the Wanamaker Tulsa gun show in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's see, now on the 6th, Sunday the 6th, we're going to have the anniversary that the draft was lowered from 21 to 18. And just remember that a couple of weeks ago, we had the Republican-backed gun control that was passed that raised the age of having ability to exercise your rights from 18 to 21. So all those people that can be drafted from 18 to 21 now, and their spouses and their brothers and sisters, I guess, but most importantly, them and their spouses who might be living alone because they're in the Army or in the military, I guess, can no longer exercise their rights. They can no longer own a means to defend themselves in an efficient way, which means criminals who know when people are deployed know that they're vulnerable dependents, their spouses, are disarmed. It's heinous bullshit gun control that was passed. Well, almost not quite on the anniversary that the draft was lowered from 21 to 18 by probably the same motherfuckers. Sorry, same people who did that in 1942. Oh, maybe not 1942. I was thinking 1960. I'll bet you they were alive in 1942, 30 years before most of us were alive. Those old people that just changed, or those old Republicans that just voted for gun control, were probably alive in 1942. I don't have everything on the list, so we might go back and take a look at some of the other things from my spreadsheet. But let's take a look at the 15th, which will be Tuesday of the week after. Will be Code Talkers Recognition Act of 2008. So most people think of the Navajo Code Talkers, but guess what? There's also Apache Code Talkers, because we had Code Talkers in both wars, meaning the United States is a melting pot, and we put that melting pot on top of a bunch of people that already lived here, who had come over from probably Europe and Russia way long time ago. They had all kinds of crazy languages over here, and because their languages were a lot of kind of stuff, nobody could understand what they were saying, especially the Japanese over radios or the Germans or whoever. So in World War One, I believe it was the Choctaw Indians or tribe from Oklahoma who pioneered the use of Native American languages as military code. Their exploits in World War One made it possible for the Apaches in World War II to do their thing. So in 2008, I believe, in 2008, they created the Code Talkers Recognition Act, which was Bush, for George W. Bush, which recognized every Native American code talker who served the United States during World War I or World War II. Now, we also have other code talkers days, though. So we'll have an Apache and, well, I guess this one. So there's still another code talkers day. Anyway, super cool. And if you haven't heard of the stories or the successes of Signal Company Code Talkers, then check it out. It's good stuff. So again, basically the radio operators back in the day used audio instead of digital codes or encryption or anything like that. And a way to encrypt was to use a communication method that the enemy who might be listening in wouldn't understand. Let's see. So then you got Harlan Carter, one of the people that was I don't know what that noise was. Harlan Carter is one of the people that started the NRA ILA. It's kind of a son of a bitch. I don't think he's a very good dude. Not everybody in the 2A is a good person. This guy joined the NRA in 1951, and he served as the president of the NRA in 65 to 67, when people served in short terms for the president. And then in 1975, he was the director, and he was the executive vice president of the NRA then in 77. So he stuck around the NRA for a while. He served with Neil Knox, back in the day when the ILA was created. And I'm not sure if they got in a fight, but they definitely did not continue to work together. And I don't think that guy's a good dude. From what I understand, he was not a nice guy. He's kind of a dick. So then we get the last thing in my list was Dr. Mary Walker, born in 1832. So let's see what Mary Walker's deal is. Mary Walker was born in November of 1832, and she received a medical degree from medical college in 1855. So that would have been when she was 33. And then 1865, she went to the Civil War and served as a surgeon. And in 64, she was captured by the Confederates. She was the only woman to ever receive the U.S. Medal of Honor. In 1871, she attempted to register to vote and was turned away. And then in 2000, she was inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame. So, women out there being lippy, one of them lippy women. Changing things. All right, so she probably had a gun, I'm guessing. She probably seems like the kind of lady that would have a gun. All right, with that, I think we're done. Now I can go look at my thing over here. So I have a spreadsheet I'm going to dig into, see if we're missing anything good over there. Jacob is saying, "Are you sure it's my channel? I still only have 2 subs." YouTube doesn't necessarily throw sub numbers up right off the bat because people do stuff and fiddle around. It might take a minute or two for YouTube to figure out or to make it permanent. All right, I'm zooming back out, and I'm going to zip down to November. All right, so going backwards, Nix was launched in November 30th. I've got issues where I can't update my calendar as well as I could, so we might have some issues with the calendar going forward. Winchester, Oliver Winchester was born in 1810 on November 30th. The Brady Bill was signed in on November 30th in 1993. On November 29th in 1990, the Gun-Free School Zones Act was passed. We have on November 26th, the anniversary of John Browning passing at 71. He died in 1926. The year after, Rising was born. That's interesting. I thought they worked together. I guess not. Then we have Bannerman, who had Bannerman's Castle, right? He passed in 1918 at 67 years old. On November 27th, I keep hearing noises, but I think it's my printer. On November 27th, Bruce Lee was born in 1940. On November 24th, Sir Hiram Maxim died. He passed away at 76 on November 24th. On November 23rd, Presser versus Illinois was argued. That is the Supreme Court, or the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution limited only the power of the Congress and the national government, not the states. So that was from 1885, Presser versus Illinois. Pretty sure, again, another son of a bitch, if I remember right. So the guy was not a good dude, and that was not a good case, but good stuff comes from it. And it's often used by antis to suggest that gun owners' rights come from bad places, when in reality, bad people are taken to court and bad laws are scrutinized. It has nothing to do with the bad people. It has to do with the bad law and how it's discovered and how it's brought to light. And in 1885, it was brought to light that the states are not affected by the Second Amendment. Like it or not, that's something that we've been dealing with for a long time. Now in November, I don't like talking about dates. Speaking of birthdays, I like to do a show each month to talk about happy birthday, it's not my birthday. You don't need to tell the world what your birthday is. You can have a birthday week, you can have a birthday month, and that's what I'd recommend, having a birthday month. One, it lets your friends give you more congratulations because they don't have to just be there and remember. What if somebody was on a vacation for a week and you said, hey, today's my birthday? They wouldn't even know because they were gone for a week. But if you said, hey, this is my birthday month, nobody really cares which day is your birthday, right? We're not all like related to you or whatever, but we can all go, oh, right on. We appreciate you and we're happy that you're part of our group. And this is the month that we're going to celebrate. You are another year on the planet, right? Like, that's cool. Well, let's remember that birthdays are personal vital information used to identify us. And that's not something we need to share online. If you've got specific friends you want to share something that intimate with, feel free. It's a free country. However, you don't broadcast your bank account numbers or your social security number, hopefully. You don't necessarily need to always talk about our birth date. Hey, it's my birth week. This is my birth month, right? So we know Tony Simon is born in November. Now, people that are long gone, I'll talk about their birthdays. So Eugene Stoner was born on November 22nd. We got Carl Walther also being born on November 22nd, only Stoner was born in 1922. Walther, 1858. He was basically being born when revolvers were being created. Let's see. Congratulations, happy birthday. You guys are all talking about specific dates of your birthdays. You know how to do that. I think I was Jacob's first sub, so you guys are subbing Jacob, right on. All right, so let's see. Going backwards from that, on November 20th, on November 21st, in 2014, Florida ended their prohibition on hunting with suppressors. We talked about Wisconsin doing that, right? Oklahoma doing that on the 1st. The inventor, okay, Alan Amaron was born in 1948. He was an inventor. And in 1984, he invented something. What did Alan Amaron invent in 1984? We already talked about Harlan Carter passing in 1991. What we didn't have on the list here was, oh snap, I gotta undo that. What we didn't have on the list here was that November 17th will be the NRA's birthday. An NRA was chartered in 1871, November 17th, 1871. Now, on November 15th, we were talking about this the other night, I think. November 15th is the anniversary of Gun Channels. It was born on November 15th, 2013. It seems like a long time ago. We had November 13th being the anniversary of Sturm from Sturm Ruger. Sandy Sturm passed away at 28 years old. So when Ruger and his friend Sturm created Sturm Ruger, I believe Ruger was the inventive guy. Sturm was the guy that was the business guy. They went into business, and Sturm, at 28 years old, died. He passed away. And that's when Ruger changed from the red Ruger Eagle to the black Eagle. I believe that's how it went, right? They switched colors of the Eagle when one of the owners of the company passed away at 28 years old. How horrible would that? Hopefully he had an amazing time or whatever. But anyway, moving on. Larry Pratt was born in 1942. That's Eric Pratt's dad. Most of us who've been around the thing for a while know of Larry Pratt as the owner of Gun Owners of America. He's one of the first people I know of who could comfortably, fluently speak Spanish at a moment's. Oh man! After all this time, my printer decided to shit on itself and ruin like 2-hour print an hour in. Damn it! So Larry Pratt got taken out by what's his face. Sad, but now Eric's in his place. He was born in 1942. Let's see. David Carbine Williams was born in 1900. Still haven't seen that movie. I refuse to pay $2 to see the movie. I got to go turn off the printer now. It's just wasting money. And then we're back to Veterans Day on the 11th. We still got a couple more things to talk about, though. That's a waste of money and time. Waste of electricity, waste of the plastic, and a waste of everybody's time. That was a mess. So it's because it's cold. It's getting colder, so I have to fiddle with the temperatures. It wasn't probably extruding hot enough, so it started to wobble around as it was printing, and it's probably too tall a print for this cold. It has to probably do that print in the summer. All right, so we also have in November, which wasn't on the list because like I say, I'm having some issues with the software over here, the Undetectable Firearms Act, which expired originally. Well, it started in 1998. So the Undetectable Firearms Act was created in. Well, what did I do here? I guess, it must have started in 1988. Or did it start in 1993? No, 98 sounds about right. I don't know why I've got my notes here wrong. But anyway, the Undetectable Firearms Act, I believe got created and expired on the same date. So here's the problem. It expires every 10 years. So it started in 98 and then it expired in 2008, but then 5 years later, no, 1998, then 2000, I don't know. It expired once and then they renewed it 3 times. So it'll expire again in 2023. I don't have great notes here, but anyway, the Undetectable Firearms Act is coming up on the 10th. And here's what's messed up. That's the same date as, well, I got the Marine Corps birthday down here as the 10th. Is it the 10th or the 11th? Oh, no, it is the 10th. Okay. Then on the 10th is also the anniversary of Mikhail Kalashnikov's birthday. So he was born in 1919 on November 10th, probably because the Marines were being born. They made a bunch of ruckus. Got his mom all scared. She gave birth. Let's see. So I think that's everything. Oh, no, you know what? I did miss a couple here. We got Wayne LaPierre. His birthday is coming up this month in a couple of days, really. Mike Dillon, who is responsible for the Dillon reloading presses and the minigun. He invented both. Was born, wait, hold on. Mike Dillon passed away in 2016 on November 7th. George Ingram, the Mac 10, Mac 11, the suppressor, and then the AA-12 a little bit, and something else, passed away in 2004. We already talked about Bill Wilson's birthday is coming up. We've got James Paris Lee created the detachable magazine. That was patented on tomorrow, the 4th. So tomorrow is the date, or is the anniversary of the detachable magazine. Do you know what year the detachable magazine was created? Anyone? Anyone? Hide current comment. Anyone? The detachable magazine was invented in 1870. Wait, no, the guy was invented in 1879. I don't know when the patent thing was. Wait, oh no, it was, that was the day he invented or patented the magazine was in 1879. So the revolver was by 1850. 30 years later, they invent the detachable magazine. And then 30 years after that, Browning turns it into the 1911, the perfect gun. You're saying November 10th, 1775 is the Marines? Yeah, it is. Gatling invented his machine gun. I don't know if I had that in here. He invented the machine gun in 1862, today, tomorrow, November 4th. Daylight savings time ends. Is that true? Is it ended today? That just happened? I don't keep track of that stuff because we don't do that kind of business here in Arizona. We already talked about Oklahoma ending prohibition on we talked about Oklahoma ending prohibition on hunting with a suppressor. They also passed constitutional carry on November 1st of 2019, and on that same day, Oklahoma ended a prohibition on open carry. Well done, Oklahoma. November 11th is also the day that Wisconsin began issuing shall issue CCW permits. While I'm waiting for people to Saturday for the daylight thing. Oh, okay, thanks. I guess that must be a different day each week or each year. So taking a look at some of the monthly events for November in the gun community, we have Wanamaker's Tulsa Arms Show, the largest gun show in the world. It's the largest gun show in the United States. That happens twice a year, once in November. I think the other one is in March or April. And then we've got the SAR Show. SAR Show West is happening on the last day of November. Sometimes, let's see how it works out this year. So actually the SAR Show is usually the first weekend in December. This year, the way the month lays out, it won't touch November, but often SAR show overlaps a little bit into November because it's the last weekend of the month or the first weekend of December, how you want to say it. Let's see. November is National Military Family Month. So think about the kids and the family that has to, or doesn't have to, but that is dealing with the inconvenience and stress and confusion and pride and opportunity and collaboration of living in different countries and different bases and forts and posts. Something that most people don't give credit to, and the military has done efforts over the years to appreciate and shine light on those that often get overlooked and those that sacrifice, not for the tip of the spear or even the business, the doing business part of the spear, but the residual, the place for those people to go home and find solace in what they're fighting for. It's a big part of being in the military is why you're fighting, and the reason why everyone fights is for their family. So Military Family Month is nothing to overlook. It's also Warrior Care Month. So oftentimes people that answer the call don't think to monitor their own well-being. That has been the case back in the day. So I don't want to doom anybody to that. Nowadays, there's a lot different fighting forces and people fight in different ways and people have different awarenesses and whatnot. So don't necessarily look to the young that are just retiring as being the wounded or the ones that need or deserve care only. They definitely deserve and have care available for them. But it's also often those that are forgotten about and overlooked and disregarded and not paid attention to that need the most care. And then we got Giving Tuesday. The Tuesday after Thanksgiving is Giving Tuesday. So that goes along with Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday. There's a Giving Tuesday where if you're going to be able to or dedicate some to offer to nonprofits or to those that are doing good works, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving is a dedicated day for that in the kind of capitalist holiday season that we have. And then it looks like, if it's still happening, Blade Show West happens in November. I'm not really keeping up on them all. But there you go. So that is everything I had in my spreadsheet, in my hidden spreadsheet, everything we've got posted on the website. Our goal is to have even more stuff posted so that every day we've got something to talk about. Every day somebody can check this out, listen to the show, and know what's coming up, what's happened, where we're at on the calendar, or where we're at in history or anniversaries, mainly so that you can have interesting conversations and important conversations, or the conversations that you have the opportunity to be more important or be more useful or effective with just having some of this kind of information. It's a site that we're proud to have had up for a long time now. However, the software is falling apart, and normally it's the kind of stuff I just crack my knuckles and sit down and maybe grab a cup of coffee and fix, but it's getting tougher and tougher to do that kind of stuff. We do want to thank our Patreons that make it possible for us to do this kind of stuff and to keep the website up, but it isn't something that we just are able to do because we're independently wealthy and retired. So if you are interested in supporting what we do, I want to thank Woods for jumping in earlier today and grabbing something that helped us about $23 in the black again. So I had been in the red earlier today. So thanks for that. I do appreciate it. If anybody else wants to grab one of a custom-made logo spinning banner thingy, check out the video we did on the big channel, and that sale price will go through the weekend. If you're looking for a banner for your channel or for a project or a video or something, let me know, and I can accept $30 in cash so that I can keep the bills at bay, and we'll get you a logo spinning thing made up so that you can use it in your videos. But anyway, thanks to Woods for supporting us specifically today, very directly. And thanks to our Patreons who each month, most of them buy us a cup of coffee, some of them buy us lunch. Each of those gifts, those generous subscriptions, adds up, and it makes it possible for us to do what we do without a focus on a grip angle or a red dot optic or any of the other stuff that's fun and interesting, but has nothing to do with where we come from, on whose shoulders we stand, and where we're going. I don't like treading water. It takes a lot of effort and we don't go anywhere. I like swimming in a direction. I'm not telling you which direction to swim in. I think we're better off if we all swim instead of all tread in water. So that's what our show's about, is helping people to choose a direction and then to facilitate your movement in that direction. Together, we each accomplish more. I want to appreciate everybody for joining us live. Nobody's really saying anything, but thanks for those who did earlier. I know it's late and we started a little bit late. You can blame Nancy Pelosi for that. She's often the one who's the bane of our existence because of her horrible attitudes and mean ways. Anyway, aside from that, we're having a good week. Tomorrow we'll be checking out the weekly wrap up. And Saturday we answer gun questions with Clover and Tony. And on Sunday, it's another patch swap. So if you want to grab some stuff tomorrow at our gear website store, we're about to do a commercial for that. You can. And one of the things that we have over there now is the patch swap packs. You can grab a pack of patches that are random to swap. And on Sundays, we get together live and do a patch swap. We talk about patches and have a little fun. Maybe even chat about a robot movie. You never know what's going to happen. So with that, we'll end this one. We'll encourage you to check out our store, and we'll be back to pick you up later.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
Tonight's episode, that was no lady.
So let us know what you think. We'll be watching the comments wherever you find the video, over on gunstreamer.com or on guntube.org.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourages you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.